Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq, coming to you live from the SALT Conference in New York City. Joining me for this segment, we have John Rue, President of Ava Labs. We're here to discuss where the next generation of on-chain users is coming from. John, it's great to see you as always. Welcome back to Trade Talks, and it seems as if it's evolving rapidly now, right? Where we're onboarding more users on-chain. Where do you think the next gen is coming from?
It's great to see you, Jill. First of
Thank
all,
you.
You cover this space so well. So there's two areas with the new next wave of users are coming on. We're at a financial services conference. We're doing there's a lot of tokenization of real world assets, transferring the right of ownership of traditional financial assets on chain. So that's going to bring a lot of value on chain. But even though we're at a financial services conference, there's other enterprises also using the blockchain now for different businesses and different business models. And it's also RWA, real world activity. So these companies are actually using the blockchain solution and the smart contract construct in order to create loyalty or to create in-game asset exchange for gaming, so to speak. That is also going to bring a lot of users on chain.
Yeah, what are some of the challenges that you're seeing when it comes to adoption? Because there are a number of industries, to your point.
So there's a lot of demand for the technology and experimenting with the technology from really big enterprises, from finance to traditional brands. The challenges are, when will there be regulatory clarity? So it seems like our partnerships at Ava Labs. Ava Labs is a software services company helping companies deploy on top of Avalanche. It seems like they want to build these proof of concepts and build these things ahead of the clarity so that when the clarity comes, or less uncertainty, things can really take off.
Yeah, because you don't want to stifle innovation if there's too many guardrails around it, but of course you also want the framework so that you're within compliance and that there's some sort of solidarity, some consistency around that. How is Ava Labs helping to make this happen when you're working with people looking to deploy this type of technology?
Yeah, so there's three things. One is the chain itself the consensus protocol has instant finality, so it makes it easy to settle things very quickly. Another is basically the business development efforts of Ava Labs have helped create partnerships on the Avalanche chain of all the players that have the regulatory compliance necessary, qualified custodians, NTL licenses, as well as ATSs for securities, broker-dealers, so that when an institution here at SALT wants to deploy, tokenize a fund, or tokenize an asset, or commodity, or anything, they can easily do it because the on-chain partners are already there with the right licenses. And third, lastly, this is the unique aspect of Avalanche Chain. It is basically a multi-chain effort where anyone can have their own self-managed blockchain, self-sovereign, self-managed blockchain for their needs. So if you're a gaming company, you want fast transactions. But if you're a Wall Street bank or asset manager, you don't, especially if it's an illiquid product, you don't need the fast transactions. What you need is actually the compliance built around it. And you can build your own blockchain customized for that desire.
I'm glad you brought that up because there's different sets of regulations for different sets of industries. Do you think that this is really being deployed because the interoperability with blockchains has improved?
Yes, the interoperability between blockchains definitely has improved. Avalanche, it's EVM compatible, so assets can move back and forth between Ethereum and Avalanche. Plus there are also other chains out there that we think ultimately will come down to 3 or 4 chains, but the way Avalanche is built is it can easily work with all the other chains in an interoperable manner. And there are bridge companies building bridges to all the chains right now.
Yeah, all right.
It's kind of like back in the old days where if you had cellular service, you would pay a lot of fees because you go from AT&T to Verizon or to one of the Sprint when they still existed. And all of a sudden that became very seamless and you didn't need to worry about that. That's what's happening.
All right, well, that's a great analogy. Thank you so much as always, John, for joining us on Trade Talks. And thanks for joining me from SALT. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.